Ooh, you're a little creepy, aren't you, buddy? I hate this ad so much. Only at the end do you realize that this guy is supposed to represent the smell of good cooking, luring others into the person's house. Meanwhile, throughout the rest of the ad, you're thinking that this guy is some sort of sexual Pied Piper trying to snatch people for humpy times. Amber Alert! Hello everybody, my name is Hofstadter and welcome back to another episode of the Indian Kitchen. Today I want to show you a simple, delicious and affordable recipe from the state of Jammu and Kashmir in the north of India. Now this is not my recipe, full credit goes to Maunika Gowardhan. Now at the start of the year I was pretty fat and I also started getting heavily into Indian food, and Maunika Gowardhan was the first YouTube chef that I saw. I went to a website and I started making most of her vegetarian recipes. I absolutely love her dals and I started losing weight so quickly from making her recipes for lunch basically every day. So this video is kind of like my tribute to her, so if you do watch this, hello! I'm such a loser, oh my god. So yeah, let's get on with the recipe. I do hope you enjoyed this video. So let's get started with the recipe, and remember, ta-da! Alright, so let's take a look at our masala. Now this is a combination of fennel, ginger and hing. Now if you have fennel powder, this will go a lot quicker, but I don't recommend buying fennel powder, so we're just going to do in 2 generous teaspoons of fennel seeds, and we're just gonna bash them up until we get a decent powder. They're quite fibrous, so this will take a while. This is quite the workout. I hate this bit. This is good enough, I think. To this we are going to add just a couple dashes of our peto powder, jale, and 2 teaspoons of ginger powder. This will add a very interesting warmth to the dish, which contrasts quite well with the chili powder, which we're going to add. You don't need to add the chili powder. I'm only going to be using about half a teaspoon, but I do highly recommend it. Set this to the side, and now we do our ginger and garlic paste. So we have about 5 or 6 cloves of garlic. My garlic was going a little bit weird, so I'm just chucking the rest of it in. And about 1 inch of ginger. So pound this up until you get a nice fine paste. Just add a pinch of salt just for seasoning. You don't have to worry too much about the amount of ginger and garlic paste that you add to a dish, but generally you want to stay at about twice as much garlic as you have ginger. Not spectacularly fine, but that will do. Alright, we have 3 more spices that we have to look at for our initial tarka. 5 pods of black cardamom that I've given a bash open. 2 Kashmiri dried red chilies, not part of the original recipe, but I do like the flavour that they add. And 1... Wait a minute. What the hell?! 1 needle-free cinnamon stick. We also have 1 finely chopped large red onion. And we will be using 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. When this fries off, it gives a lovely umami note to the dish because, you know, it's got tons of glutamate in it. We also have 2 400-gram cans of kidney beans in the sink, which I've drained and given a good wash. Now in this pan, I've added 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil, so we're going to wait for this to heat up, and then we're going to chuck our larger spices in there. As always, you can check if your pan is hot enough by throwing in a couple cumin seeds and seeing if they dance in oil. No, nowhere near hot enough, so I'm just going to increase the heat. Alright, they're starting to dance. We want to fry these on a low heat for about a minute, and that will just allow them to unlock the flavours. So, where'd my spatula go? So sort of just swirl them around a bit in the oil. Make sure they get plenty of contact, and it will just help them infuse a bit. If you want, you can tip it onto the side, sort of like this, and just allow them to deep fry. And that's really getting the flavors inside it because it allows the oil to penetrate into all the nooks and crannies of the spices. Alright, once you can start smelling the spices and they have a nice roasted aroma to them, you want to chuck in your onions. I've lowered the heat. Now I'm going to let these cook for about 15 minutes, just until they get a nice tinge of golden brown to them. So I'm happy with the color of the onions. Now I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. As I said before, this gives a really nice umami oomph to the dish. And we're just going to fry this and let it get a little bit dark. Okay, that's about to burn, so now we're going to add our kidney beans. I actually forgot the ginger and garlic paste. So let's just quickly add that in there. And we're just going to let this fry until the raw smell goes away. It should only take about 1 or 2 minutes. Alright, so if you're like me and you're a twit, what you should have done is that you should have added your ginger and garlic paste, then your tomato puree, and just let the raw flavors intermingle then. But I made a little well and then fried off my ginger and garlic paste, so it should be fine. Now that everything's frying off, I'm going to add my masala. And we're going to stir this through and let it fry for about 30 seconds because we want the raw smell to go away. I'm going to add about a cup of water and mix it through. Now the amount of water that you add is entirely dependent on how soft your beans are. These are pretty soft, so I'm just going with a cup. I'm going to let it reduce. Should be quite fine. Could have gone with a little less water. If your beans are really hard though, add a bit more. And we're going to cover this and we're going to let it simmer for about 10 minutes and we're going to taste it and see how it's come along. Remember to check it on the odd occasion and give it a stir just to make sure that it's not sticking on the bottom of the pan. This has been going for about 15 minutes now. I added another teaspoon of salt to it. You don't want something this thin. You want something that you can scoop up with bread quite easily because I always make this with bread. Okay, so this looks about ready. It's nice and thick, so let's have a taste for our seasoning. If you want to hunt for the spices, you can, but I tend to leave them in there. Just pick them out as I eat because they will continue to infuse the dish as it sits. This dish is always better the next day. So right now I'm making this thing called luni miris, which is a Sri Lankan chutney made from red onion, red chili powder, Maldive fish, and lime juice. Now I don't have Maldive fish, but I heard you can substitute bonito flakes. Because they are the same thing, they're just dried, shredded, and smoked fish. I think the flavors would go quite well with this dish, so we're going to have a crack at it and see how it turns out. The way I like to serve this dish is with a pair of chapatis smeared with ghee. You can do rice if you want, totally up to you. A fresh salad and your choice of chutney and pickle on the side. Alright guys, let's have a taste of our dish. Now, the way that you eat this, especially with bread, is you take it in half, grab a quarter, and then you use this to scoop up a piece. It's a little messy, but eating with your hands, it's just a little bit more intimate, if you pardon the weird word. The smokiness from the black cardamom, and the chilies, and the cinnamon, and that lovely gingery aniseedy tone. It's absolutely wonderful. Let's have a go at this death stuff. Oh, the taste. Oh my god. I'm gonna regret this. I'm regretting it hard. It's an interesting flavor, I'll give you that. I'm not gonna do that again. So if you enjoyed this video, please give a like, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Oh god, where's the milk?